Las Vegas, Nevada. And we have a little closer to home, Melanie Brennan, who's wearing two hats, CPS, DYA. Good morning, Melanie. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So I guess we'll just start with this summer internship job program. And this is it's a DYA thing, right?
Well, actually, it's a GDOE thing through AR American Rescue Plan funding, and we're collaborating with them to stand it up. So in terms of support, they're fully supported by the American Rescue Plan funds, and we are here to help implement it. In fact, this week we're receiving applications at our Cutton Center in Manila. The Summer Youth Employment and Internship Program is for children or youth ages 14 to 21 that are still in high school. And what it does is it will provide them with workforce experience in both the public and private sector.
Right. And can you kind of talk about the placement and maybe some of the options that people or kids who are selected for this program may have?
Okay. Well, they can choose from an array of government of Guam agencies in public service, and as well as some of the private schools have requested to have summer youth interns with them. So I know that over the weekend, DYA received at least 300 emails of interest. And yesterday, I believe we received, I'm not quite sure, but I think it was about 100 actual completed applications. So we're really excited to get this started. It's been like years, I want to say over 15 years since we last were able to do this.
What so you mentioned you were partnering with the Guam Department of Education. So what exactly will DYA, what is DYA's contribution to the summer internship?
Well, we're staffing, we're actually staffing it. Yeah. We're helping to staff it in terms of making sure that we receive the applications, they're vetted, and that we are placing them in the agencies. We've already coordinated with the other agencies for placement. And so we'll also be collecting the information, collecting the data, as well as GDOE for support.
Mm-hmm. And how much
so
is...
I don't know if you remember, but we're looking at stipends of $350 a week, at least $350 a week for 6 weeks.
You mentioned 300 applications were received already? Is that what you said?
No, 300 emails were received.
300 emails.
And expressing interest. And so, right. And so we returned those emails with the application as well as frequently asked questions. And so this week, all of this week, we're receiving applications at our resource center. Yesterday, we opened it up, and I want to say at least 100 completed applications were received. I'm hoping. And I didn't get the count.
And the program is open up. So how many are you guys accepting? 400? 400, right?
400. Yes, we're receiving 400.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Melanie, I actually worked in the...
I know that there was some discussion about possibly moving it to 500. It's just depending on the interest.
Right.
We're just going to gauge it by the interest.
Way back in the day...
Well, it seems like you guys got a lot of people interested already.
So the plans do extend to next year. Yeah. 300 interested emails over the weekend was quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we just opened it up last week. So not sure what the interest level is yet, but I do know that, for parents and youth to submit the application, to work on it over the weekend, to get everything that's required, and then to line up yesterday, that was pretty exciting to see. And so we know that there is definitely an interest, especially after the pandemic had kept kids home for so long. So this is really in response to some learning loss, the social and emotional learning loss that occurred during the pandemic, and really getting kids ready for, the future workforce is so important.
Right. Melanie, I wanted to ask because I know back in the day I was in the AHRD summer job program. How is this kind of similar? And then obviously with the funding source, it is a little different, but is it kind of like same ballpark?
Definitely. Both programs are, intended to give youth the opportunity to experience a paycheck, to experience what it's like to work with others, and also like to prepare an application to have the proper identification ready. And now with electronic funds transfer, it's also, establishing their first bank account.
Right.
I remember when many years ago, when I first started working, I really didn't have a bank account. And so I had to give my check to my parents, and that is one of the things that when we survey kids, what would they like? It was like they would like to have their own bank account. They would like to have their own checking account, and it helps start them off and better prepares them for when they actually enter the real workforce.
Yeah, and to get that many emails, I don't know. You said it's GDOE, and then there's also some private sector jobs. Are you able to say like maybe give more detail on exactly what they'll be doing? Because I remember in AHRD, it's kind of weird. Like basically, what we kind of did was just sit around the office and get people coffee.
Well, so this is really modeled after GDOE's internship program, which they had, I think they launched in 2019. And it was just within GDOE, and there were deliverables. The youth had to come up with, I don't think it's called a reflect, but basically they journaled what their activities were, and they had somebody to supervise them to ensure that the goals and objectives were met through their journaling of the activities. And so it really is task oriented, and what we're trying to do is match them with what their interests are. Several youth already have indicated a preference to go to certain agencies. The Department of Agriculture was one big one. Another one was Guam Environmental Protection Agency and the Guam Airport Authority. Those were like three of the top. And then too, with the pandemic, many had indicated that they'd wanted to work with Guam Public Health and Social Services.
Wow.
But none qualified for social workers. So.
Oh, probably a little tough, right?
That's
Or else you would have hired them, right?
Right away.
Right. Yeah. Melanie, are there transition opportunities for kids in this program to go from like a summer internship to maybe something a little more permanent after the program ends, since they're going to be acquiring a certain skill set?
Well, I mean, that is the hope, but most of them are high school age. We do have a few graduates that have expressed interest. But it really is for exposure. It really is to expose and to peak those opportunities, I think. But yeah, there's always hope for that transition, hope for sparking an interest in public service. So we'll see. There is no bridge yet, but this is the first program that we've had in many years, and so we stand to gain a lot of information from the data that we're going to collect.
Nice. Let's switch gears a little bit. CPS. Can you put on your CPS hat?
Sure, give me a moment to just transition.
Okay. All right.
There you go. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Okay, let's go. So what's the status? I've got just general update on, have you guys, obviously I know you've still been receiving complaints, and then what's the status on working through those?
Okay, so as you know, recruitment has been a huge issue, and it's not unlike any other jurisdiction. Everybody that works in CPS and protective services has these types of difficulty, burnout, turnover rates, and so there's a lot of information going out nationally about how to retain your employees, right? And a lot of it's through workforce development, professional development. And so getting that technical assistance has has been a part of our journey as well. Even though we're actively pursuing recruitment, at the same time, we've had experienced many losses in terms of the managerial level. We have one individual, one supervisor who's leaving at the end of the month to retirement. And then we've had a couple of senior or social worker threes, which is the highest of the social worker tier. They've expressed interest, and a couple of them have chosen to join other GovGuam agencies. So we know that will be an ongoing retention effort, that once we gain the employees, how do we keep them? How do we make sure that, that they want to stay, they want to make it a career? And also acknowledging that there will be some people that join us and that will figure out early on that it's not, that even if we have like the best onboarding and training, that they'll just recognize that the job isn't for them. So what do we do and how do we move forward knowing all of this? And so I've been working with the Department of Administration on some type of incentives. And one of them is a pay differential for social workers in child welfare. And so we put together a policy. DOA is looking at that and tweaking it for the governor's approval. There's also, other things. We have like an overrepresentation of some ethnic groups. And so getting skilled social workers who are able to speak that language as well would help. The different kind of doing different things, but at the same time, still utilizing the social workers from DYA to address not only the backlog, but new cases that are coming in so that, that we're not creating another backlog of referrals. Right. How we go about business since we started is we address every single referral. Every single referral represents a child and family. And so we want to make sure that that we're doing our best. And even if it doesn't meet the criteria of maltreatment, that we are using supportive services to prevent as a preventative measure, because prevention really is the only thing that will work so that we don't see them later on in the juvenile justice system or elsewhere in the mental health and behavioral health side.
Melanie, let me ask, because we had Therese Ariola on yesterday from Jibwick, and we know, I guess just systemically, it's very hard to fill a lot of these social work positions. That being said, do you think that we need to be providing more incentive to fill a lot of these critical positions that we're routinely short of? I don't know, maybe more scholarships for fields like social work or, medicine, law, other technical professional type things. Do you think that we really need to look at this shortage of social workers and address it maybe at the high school and college level? Maybe
Chris, that has already been a discussion, and that's a discussion with a lot of hard to fill jobs. I mean, you're talking about law enforcement, you're talking about social work, you're talking about, the other professional fields like medicine. And what we've done is, Teresa and I, we've discussed this at length, and we're already reaching out to UOG, working with Dr. Natividad, the 27 social work graduates. We're already connecting with them so that there is like a bridge from graduation to GovGuam employment. It should be smoother. It shouldn't take a year for somebody, that just graduates to get a job. And with the way the Department of Administration works is you fill out an application and it's good for a year. So then they close an announcement. And what happens is within that year, someone can graduate and they're just waiting because they can't get on the list. And so what we've done was we've talked to the Department of Administration. Shane Gata has opened up the social work position to make it a continuous and open announcement. So it's no longer going to be closed. So that will address, the wait period for new graduates. There's so many discussions that are going on simultaneously about how to retain. Retention is so important. And just with everything that's happened with the pandemic and just the mental health issues that we're seeing all over the place. I mean, Therese can tell you that hotline is blowing up. I can tell you that we're seeing it at CPS, and we're also seeing it through the juvenile justice system. We definitely need to do better, and we have some great recommendations that are going, and some great implementation strategies to help retain and recruit social workers.
That's really good to hear. We wanted to get an update on foster parents, foster home, etc.?
Okay, so the same thing. How do we retain and recruit foster parents, right? That is another issue that we have, and so the same strategies that we use to recruit social workers. We have to offer incentives. We have to offer good training. Like it's not easy to be a foster parent, and you can go in with the right intentions, but if you're not understanding the kids and the complex needs that the kids have, then you can become a foster parent and within a month's time just say, it's not for me. So how do we not only recruit them, but how do we retain the good foster parents and keep them so that they stay and they understand? And that again too is through giving them training and helping them, supporting them through the foster care system. And so right now we're getting some technical assistance from, gosh, I forget the name. Sorry, but we are getting some technical assistance on how to do just that. And mind you, our foster care, we had one foster care social worker who was in charge of recruitment. She actually has taken on another job. And so getting the warm bodies in, but getting them the necessary training, because you have to have a competent workforce. And like when they're all new bodies, it's like they may be competent, but they may not be trained. And so getting them up to that skill level to do what we need to do, it will take some time.
Wow. Well, foster home, I know that there was one that opened within the last month, I want to say. Are there any plans to open any additional foster homes?
So that they did the ribbon cutting on the foster care group home, but it has not yet officially opened. I know that there's some staffing issues too. Everyone's trying to hire, and we're hoping that it's going to be open like by the end of this month. We're hoping.
So wait, so we did the ribbon cutting, but there's staffing issues. Can you expand a little bit on what kind of issues we're having with staffing that foster home? And is it just that one, or
the contract was. I'm sorry.
And is it just that one that we're having issues with, or any others?
So it is the newest foster care group home on Guam, and we did the ribbon cutting, and it's set to open. It was set to open. However, as you know, like in any agency that is going to supervise children, we have to vet every single applicant to make sure that that they don't have any felony charges, that they don't have any issues that we need to be aware of. Staffing is always an issue. Finding good people to work within the system is difficult. So they're doing the best they can. The contract was awarded. We hope that it will be open soon, at least by the end of the month.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Good.
We'll keep you abreast on that situation too.
Thank you, Melanie. We did have a question. How do they get a hold of you guys? Are you doing another outreach for the youth internship program? And how do they kind of get a hold of the application and all that?
So you can email 2021 summeryouthemployment@gmail.com. Just express your interest and we will send you an email right back with the application form, as well as some frequently asked questions, as well as all the a listing of what exactly you need to turn in. And we ask that you try and get that done right away. We'll stop, I believe on Friday is when we'll stop receiving the applications. That'll be the last day.
Thank you, Melanie.
Due to start up on Monday, the 21st.
Wow. So right around the corner.
Yeah, we're hoping we won't have to delay it.
Right on.
Super excited again
to
do this.
That sounds great. Hey, but also clarify, when you said it's American Rescue Plan funding, is that funding that DOE received?
Yes, it is. It's through GDOE.
Right. Okay. So thank you, Melanie.
You're very welcome.
Have a good day. Right on. Melanie Brennan. Guys, we're going to do Cover Me, which is brought to you by our friends at Burger King and our buddies over at Docomo Pacific. Remember, Wednesdays, that's tomorrow. Heads up, guys. You go to Burger King and you tell them I love the Whopper. Ah, Whopper. 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 Whopper.